All right, what's up, wrestling fans? We are back from the break, getting ready for WWE Payback tonight, and we have a special guest with us, someone you guys have seen a little bit because I've been teasing him around the YouTube channel and a couple other places. Vinny, before we continue, please explain how you say your last name the correct way.
Sure. It's you can say it Marseglia, or you can say it Marseglia. I prefer Marseglia just because it sounds a little cooler.
Thank you.
For like ring announcing and whatnot, but it's Marseglia. Either way, it's fine. It really just sounds how it exactly looks.
No, it's good that it's Marseglia because that's what I've been calling you in every match. So
You got it. You got it.
There was what happened was a couple different times when I'd been calling your matches, I'd gone back and I'd looked and I'd heard someone else say Marseglia, and I'm like, oh no, oh, what have I been doing?
Yeah, you can do either one. To be honest with you, it actually goes for either way.
Yeah, it sounds fine either way. I do like Marseglia though, and I went with that, and good, that's the way it is.
Yeah,
we got it going.
Yep.
So you've been all over the place. You have a lot of matches coming up. You've had a lot of matches in the past. Did you start in Massachusetts with wrestling?
Yes, I started at the Spike Dudley Lockup Academy, training under Spike Dudley himself and Ryan Waters, who's out of the Fall River area and also runs the Lockup Academy to this day. About close to 8 years now from a Lockup Academy. So, yep, I started right in this area. I was wrestling a little bit before that, so I got probably around 10 years now, but almost 8 years was really credible training.
Right. Now, when did you what got you into wrestling? When did you start watching wrestling and just think I want to do that, or we're just interested in watching it?
I mean, I was young. I was probably 6 or somewhere around that, and I was a huge Ultimate Warrior fan as a little kid. And I went to all the events with my parents. My aunts and uncles would actually make it a thing whenever it came to town, to Providence, to the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Whether it be a house show or TV, we'd make a little family thing out of it. So yeah, I've always liked it since I was a kid, and I've always me and my brother would wrestle around in the house, and then eventually it carried on when I was in middle school to wrestling with your friends on a trampoline or a mat or whatever it be.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, always wanted to do it. It's exactly, I knew I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I mean, there's nothing, I haven't changed my mind once.
Yeah.
I took that year off to kind of get my stuff together and have my kid and buy a house and whatnot. And actually, that was probably the best time ever because I was able to kind of reinvent myself and kind of find out who I really was in life. So it kind of carried on into the ring. So now I'm basically, the Vinny they see now is pretty much, it's me. No one's going to question me at all on who I am. Vinny Marseglia is the name that matches on my driver's license. So it's not it's not a fake character. I'm not trying to be somebody else, even though my past, visual looks have been perceived as that. Trying to be somebody else, which I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I totally tried to look like guys that inspired me in my career, but that's just part of growing up and finding yourself, because we all get into wrestling as a fan of other wrestlers. Well, everybody does.
I think everybody does that, and look, if you look back at years ago, that was widely accepted. You had everybody looking like Ric Flair or had the long blonde hair.
Right. Yeah, everybody goes through their thing, but it just takes time. It takes time. And as you grow as a performer, you grow as a person. It eventually comes full circle if you keep putting in the work and keep just learning and learning and learning. Eventually, it just kind of comes into play very easy. And now, yeah, I'm very comfortable with who I am, because I know who I am now. So,
yeah, I love that was a question I was going to bring up in a few, but you have reinvented. I kind of changed what I was writing. I would say you've enhanced your yourself. You said you're not really a character, but it's an extension of you. But also the Ink Sanity thing. is, I've said this to you before because it's just doing so well. I've had so many people ask me about it. You have a whole different crowd of people. You can have people who are interested in, when they see you, first of all, like maybe they don't see your matches, they just see you like on my channel or on somebody's channel or somewhere.
Right.
They're like, oh, tattoos, that's cool. Or I wonder what the Insanity thing's about. I like those clothes. Where can I buy those clothes? And so then it transitions into wanting to see you as a wrestler, or they see you live, and it just, you've extended your own, you really created your own brand, which is something that
right.
not really
it's
everybody
like
can
one
do.
of the biggest things I think in wrestling. I mean, if you can come up with that, it's like a lot of the wrestlers, that have done something great usually have some sort of trademark or something that is very marketable to viewers or whoever. And, the Insanity thing, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You take a look at me and you get the whole deal. But it's cool. It's like a brand that, like, pretty much anybody can be happy with, anybody can wear. Wrestling fan, not a wrestling fan of tattoos, maybe not a fan of tattoos, who knows, just because the logo looks cool, whatever it may be. But yeah, it's going really well. People seem to really, really like that stuff. So, I'm kind of, that's my thing now. So I'm really happy with it. And, like, we keep coming up with, like, more different, like, different T-shirts, different, like, we got board shorts coming up for the summer. It's just a really cool brand that, for this time, I think is working very well. So
There's never been like this before where you can just be like, I have a website, I have clothing line, you can be on YouTube, podcasts are everywhere, you can show your videos all over the place. You can really just use all that to your advantage, and it's never been like this before in the wrestling industry.
Right,
so.
yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, it's great.
Now,
it's like, social media is such a big thing too, so.
Right. Now, last night you took on Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor Championship, which was,
yes.
Dude, I was psyched to hear about that, and I had a lot of friends that I realized had gone last night that maybe some of them knew who you were, but a lot of people did not know or were traveling up. Some people traveled up from North Carolina, I guess, to see the show. So how did that whole thing go? How did that come about, and how did everything go for you?
I mean, I've been on Ring of Honor's radar for a bit now, probably since like 2012.
Yeah.
I've competed in numerous matches. I've competed in 4-ways for a contract. I competed in, with Davey Richards when he was the big dog there. So like I've been around Ring of Honor for a while, and like I said, I think it was like when I came back and like kind of like took that minute to step back and I find myself when I came back. I went to like one more camp, and I was just so improved, and like I was so into wrestling more than ever. So like I went there, and all was good, and then the Ring of Honor presented me with that match coming to April 30th with Jay Lethal. So I ended up doing a match too at Leo Rush in December in the old ECW arena there.
Yeah.
And that's when I dislocated my shoulder actually a minute in. And, I trucked through it, and I got to the match and finished it in like 7 minutes or 8 minutes that we had with the dislocated shoulder. It sucks, but, we were both kind of like, I understood. I didn't want to ruin it for him, and I didn't want to ruin it for myself, so I really didn't want to, like, stop the match. So it's kind of, like, really in a hard place.
Yeah.
It's like, ideally, you would, stop the match.
Yeah.
Health is more important than anything. But, at the same time, like, if it was like a local VFW, I probably would have just walked off and got in my car and went to the hospital. But, this is a different situation where it's, I don't want a job. I want to be with Ring of Honor regularly. So, and then last night, I was presented this by Ring of Honor, about, Jay coming in and, me being from Warwick, it was going to be like this big ordeal, and I was super, super excited for it. And, last night it was cool because, there's people rooting for me, but like Jay Lethal is such a well-established guy. Like, I'm not gonna, the fans are most likely not gonna take my side. There's really no build to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the hometown thing
on. So,
doesn't work.
Yeah, there's no real. I guess. I mean, some people did. There's really some people that really thought I was going to win the world title last night, which is cool. But those fans are hard. course, there's a group of people, you know, that they try to eat me up or try to eat me alive and like yell. I mean, I don't really care about that stuff anyway. It's like they don't know anything anyway, so it doesn't bother me. But you know, it's just being in there with him. You know, he is one of the best in the world, and just it was great. Like I couldn't have asked it to go on better. And I think like, you know, being able to be on Ring of Honor television more, you know, I think I could really, you know, give them something great and something that they'd love. So, you know, hopefully, who knows? You know, hopefully soon. But the match is great. Jay Lethal is the best, and you know, I didn't win the Ring of Honor World Title, but I definitely brought the fight to Jay, and you know, I hope, you know, in the future we can get a rematch for sure.
Yeah, I'd like to see you back there again. I think that's a little. It's starting to get overdue. I think so. I think at one point, you know, someone's going to come calling, and you'll be there with the way that you present yourself, the brand, the wrestling abilities. That's already been there. So now it's really just about everything else. But I think you've put it together well because, yeah, you did have that kind of different look before that maybe that didn't work as well. But right now, you're really you. I mean, like it's definitely come together.
There's no like even all the way down from like my gear, my trunks, my boots. I mean, I'm a huge like horror fan, and like, you know, like and my boots kind of like have that like horror like biker kind of deal to them. But that's so me. Like I love them. You know what I mean? There's no like, okay, I like this. The people like it. It looks kind of cool, but it's just like, no, I like these boots. That's why I'm wearing them. Right. You know what I mean? There's no like second thought in my head. Whereas before, you'd always like kind of be like, well, asking people, do you think I should do that? But there's none of that anymore. I'm so comfortable with who I am and what I'm doing. So it's like, you know, there's I know who Vinny is. You know.
You're wrestling like all over the place, pretty much. You know, wherever you can wrestle, you're gonna go there, right? That's where you're at right now? What's it? Is it difficult sometimes? This is kind of backstage stuff. Is it ever difficult when you go to maybe a new promotion or a different promotion? Is like it weird in the locker room, or does everybody just welcome you, or is there confusion? What's it like doing that?
That's a good question too. Because I think a lot of like people, like younger guys getting into wrestling, kind of like have that feeling of like fear to go out there because of that kind of stuff. But like, at this point, I mean, there was, don't get me wrong, like throughout my wrestling career, there's been plenty of like uncomfortable like locker rooms and situations where I felt like no one wants me here. You know what I mean? Or like something like that rather. When you were younger, you know what I mean? When I was younger and I just had started and everything else. But I think at this point right now, man, like, it's like I by passing have met so many guys like throughout the areas that like pretty much most of the shows that I'm on, there's somebody or a handful of people that I've known from before. So it's really not like any like uncomfortable feeling. Like even like I think wrestling now, it's like, you know, people are very more supportive nowadays. Yeah. It's not so much like you know, I don't see much hate. I don't see much hate, you know, anymore. You know what I mean? When I was younger, there used to be like, you know, those old like local veteran like guys that like, you know, like, but there's not really like, everybody seems to be really cool and looking out to help other people, and you know, everybody wants to see somebody succeed, and it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Because, you know, before it wasn't really like that, so it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of cool. But no, I think for the most part, most people are very welcoming. You know,
that's cool, man. It's cool to hear that it's that way. I mean, I haven't been around locker rooms in a long time until recently, since doing some work in New York and then with Top Rope to see, you know, to see you guys, and it is really a different atmosphere. I mean, I wrestled in 2005 and I thought I was going to get like murdered, you know, behind the and behind the
and like you know, especially me, like I'll help anybody that, you know, that asks, you know what I mean, and there's no like, because I understand, you know what I'm saying, like I had to like go through those rough patches and you know, whatever, so you know, I'm totally down to help anybody who wants it, or you know, I don't know everything by all means, but you know, if anybody asks, I would never like turn them down or anything like that. I'd be glad to help anybody.
All right,
if I could.
That's definitely cool. It's cool that it's gone that way. if right now, because you're really you've been around a while, but it's still kind of, you're moving to that next transition in your career, I think. And that being said, who's like your dream opponent right now? Looking at all the promotions everywhere, who would you want to step in the ring with? Doesn't matter where it is.
Like all the even the big companies and whatnot, whatever.
It could be AJ Styles. It could be New
Okay,
Japan.
I have my dream match. First of all, my dream match as a kid is when I was a teenager. It was Jeff Hardy, and that's happening this Friday.
Right.
In Northeast Wrestling, in Schenectady. I don't know how
Schenectady
to
is
say that.
how they. Yeah, Schenectady.
Yeah, New York. Yeah, so Northeast Wrestling. But yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. It's almost like kind of like, wow, that's kind of cool, because when I was a teenager, I was like big on those guys, and like now that I'm just like, it's being promoted so big, it's just like it's really cool, because like I stuck with wrestling for so long, like hoping for like moments like that eventually, and stuff's kind of like falling into place, and it's really cool, and I'm grateful for all of it. So yeah, that happens this Friday, but I've always wanted to wrestle Chris Jericho. He's always been kind of like a dream opponent. I just think the match would be so good. Whatever stage it'd be on, I don't really care.
Right.
But I would love to get to work with him. There's other guys too that I would love to work with. Seth Rollins, I'd love to work with. There's so many guys. You know what I mean? I can go on and on that I want to work with that I haven't got a chance to yet. So.
Right. Well, that's really cool, and I knew it was coming up. I didn't realize it was this Friday, so that would be really nice to get out to. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but that'd be a.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good,
dude. I'd love to see that. I'm gonna wrap it up in a second, but real quick, I wanted to go back. I mean, you talk about injuries. I think the the second time I saw you live was at Summer Showdown last year, and I remember, I might have asked you about this already, but I remember you took a tombstone, and it was like you kind of got your head spiked. I don't remember. Did you have an issue with the neck after that, or were you okay after that? I remember it happening.
I want to say that's the one that Ryan Waters gave me, right?
Waters gave you. It was like a tombstone.
Yeah, I kind of had a headache for like a week.
Yeah, you slid.
It was nothing serious. My injury was my shoulder the whole time, my right shoulder. I dislocated, which was like on a run-in Congo, or somebody at the end of one of the top rope shows. I came off the top like a flying forearm and landed so hard because I just kind of bounced off of him and landed. It's funny because before I went out there, I was like, they calling for like a top rope, like missile drop kick, but I was like, I don't want to land on my back, and get hurt, whatever. And I ended up doing that and getting hurt anyway, so it was like so disappointing.
Man.
But yeah, that happened then, and then I went to the hospital, and the show is a lot better now. I feel great now, but yeah, with the spike on the dome, it just gave me kind of like a little loopy for like a week, but there was nothing like serious done, thank God.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta be careful. Anything happens. Safety is important. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was, it was scary from where I was. So, but I just saw it on DVD the other day. Man, this is exciting. This Friday against Jeff Hardy. Anybody in New York then can go check out Vinny Marseglia against Jeff Hardy. That's awesome. He just wrestled for the ROH Championship last night against Jay Lethal. Look for that as well. There's going to be tons more coming from Vinny, so you can say I heard Vinny for the first time here on the Joe Cronin Show. And then Vinny, also this Insanity thing. A lot of people don't understand it, but where can they just do it? They buy this stuff when you're out at shows? Are you going to have it available on the websites? I know I'm going to be there's a link I'm going to have on my website for it in case people can't figure it out. But anything on that?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt.
You guys, anybody can just contact me directly. Like seriously, I'll respond. Whether it be Facebook, which is Vinny Marseglia, VINNY MARSEGLIA. Facebook, Twitter is Vinny, VINNY _ Marseglia, MARSEGLIA. And just DM me. My email's up there too. And a lot of times when people order via PayPal, you can. It'll go directly to my wife's account, actually, and she'll put it together and send it out to whomever. And it is always available at any show that I'm on, so you can purchase it anytime there. I am probably going to most likely do like a website eventually. This stuff's starting to kind of get like a little busy, so I got to kind of like set something up. But for now, that's the best way to grab it.
All right, man. Definitely awesome. I'm going to put a link up on my site, too, so if anybody, wants to get a hold of it, we'll just direct them to your stuff. Or one of these days, maybe when I see you, I'll just have you bring a bunch of extra crap, and I'll just buy it, and I'll sell it there.
Awesome.
So anyway, guys, that's Vinny Marseglia, and check him out on Facebook and on Twitter. What's your Twitter account?
Twitter's at Vinny_Marseglia, and same thing with Instagram as well.
All right, guys, go check him out and look for that match in Schenectady on Friday. Anything else after that that's coming up that we should look forward to?
Geez, there's so much going down but that's the biggest thing coming up right now. So, buckle up because that's going to be good.
All right, nice, guys. Thanks very much, Vinny, and we'll see you guys after WWE Payback. And,
all right.